It's Gouche Live featuring Paul Rosen. Rosie will not be with me tonight, but I got my extra cool friend, Francois Landreville. He'll be up here, the Flying Frenchman, they call him. And I wonder if that's because he flies with Air Canada or he actually flies on the ice. We'll figure that out. Listen, happy Thanksgiving. It's a great day to be thankful. Yes, we're in a pandemic. Yes, it's different than most holidays that we've had over the years. But I'll tell you what, we've got to be thankful that we're still on the green side up, which is fantastic. And most importantly, that we're able to be here on the show, Gouche Live, featuring Paul Rosen, and of course, brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. Listen, I want to do a shout out, my buddy Max on the right-hand side. This young man is running for the mayor of Halifax. He's up against these two older gentlemen. Max is only 22. He is a TikTok star. And the reason why he's doing it at such a young age is to say, wake up, people. Stop complaining about the fact that the governments aren't doing what you want them to do. 26% of the people voted last election for the mayor of Halifax. Only 26. What happened to all the other ones? So Max has just said, listen, it's my mission to get young people to get out and vote, because you know what? It's time. The United States of America. One guy's 74. One guy's 78. Come on, kids. Let's get rid of the dinosaurs. Let's get into the youth. It's Max's responsibility to help us lead the youth into a new world, obviously, that we will have once this is done. Listen, last night I was watching a movie called For the Love of the Game, Kevin Costner, and I'd never seen it before, and it was late night, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep because I had a morning show at 5:30, Aussie style, with Sam Trapolino and my good buddy Aaron Kuzak. And you know what? It hit me hard. The movie was about me to some degree, even though he played in the Major League MLB, and I only played hockey in Germany. But the storyline was really similar, and it got me very emotional about thinking about, you know, what's really upsetting about this is that I won a bunch of German championships with a bunch of great hockey players over in Germany, and I would go back there every year and sit down and we'd just have a couple of beers. I can't do that, and it hurts. Because you know what? We got such great, and Francois will tell you that too. Hockey players are a special breed. We're family. So I'm really excited about bringing my buddy up. Francois Landreville, the Flying Frenchman.
Hey, Gouche, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Just trying to get rid of the picture. Hey, there you are. Francois, the Flying Frenchman. Okay, tell us why.
Well, I guess I'm fast on the ice, eh? If you recall.
Come on.
No.
Hey, look at this. Sam Trapolino. Good evening, Canada. Robert Wine. I'm having a couple of cups of tea. And there, of course, is Robert Wine. He's on every show. He'll phone me and say, Gouche, I can't be in the show tonight. He watches every show. I love him.
You know what, Gouche? I'm just like you now. I have to wear glasses. Otherwise, I don't see a thing anymore.
All right. Well, you know what? Here we go. Here we go. Let's get into it. I know we've got a great show coming up. We're going to talk about Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal in the draft, free agency, any of the trades, anything that's going on. Then we're really lucky you brought him on. Danik Martel.
Yep.
Danik or Danik?
Danik
Martel.
Yep.
He is with the Florida Panthers organization. It's free agency time. And we'd like to find out from him what it's like to be. He's played 9 games in the National Hockey League. Of course, he played he came through the Philadelphia Flyers, then went to Tampa Bay, and now is with Florida Panthers. What is it like for a guy that's in the AHL? He's a young kid. He's still got a chance to make it up to the big leagues again. What is it like to be moved as a free agent, and you're moving from an AHL to an AHL team? Because we always only talk about the guys, the big moves and that. Well, that's a big move too. So I want to hear all about that stuff. Listen, Ashley Langdon's on. Happy Thanksgiving, Carrie, and the team at Gouche Live. Back at you, Ashley. Hope you're having a good one. And we've got our friend Sam Trapolino. Francois, the Silver Fox. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. I guess it's my hair. Look, silver hair.
my allergies to the fans has returned.
Silver Fox.
Barry Shelley coming on and saying, good evening, boys. All right, we're in for a good show. Let's get right into it, buddy. Toronto Maple Leafs. What a bunch of great moves. What are your thoughts? Obviously, TJ Brennan. They signed Wayne Simmons for 1 year. He took less money to come to Toronto versus Montreal. Zach Bogosian, winner of a Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay, comes for 1 year, good price, $1 million. TJ Brody, no question.
4 years.
Our buddy Tyson Barrie didn't fit in, so I think that's going to be perfect setup for Toronto Maple Leafs. And then Wayne Simmons. I'll tell you what, I love this kid. Gritty, truculence, as your friend Burke would always say. And he can score. He can put the puck in.
Yep.
Your thoughts on those three moves?
Well, Simmons, I love that signing for Toronto. I would have loved that player to be in Montreal, but obviously Toronto, for a 1 year contract with Simmons, I think it's a win-win situation. He's coming back home, a native guy like from Toronto area. I think for Toronto, that's a great signing. Honestly, it's going to give them, I think, what they need. When they got rid of a few players, and Kadri for me was a player that motivated the troops in Toronto. And actually, I'm surprised that Toronto didn't get as far as they did in the playoffs this year. And I think that's the missing link. TJ Brody, Simmons, and Bogosians are going to make a huge difference for Toronto. Toronto's got all the assets right now to be Stanley Cup contenders.
Oh, really? Do you believe that?
Yeah, I believe that, and I've written an article on that. I think 2-3 years ago, and saying that when Babcock was there, and all the signings that they did with Matthews and all that, I think Toronto has got all the assets to be any Stanley Cup contenders. So I think with those three signings, I don't see why they wouldn't make it all the way. So, but Simmons for me is one of the greatest signings, especially for 1 year. I'm pretty sure he's going to re-sign after that. So it's a
1.5 million. That's not a
lot of money.
But I think he wants to come home. He talked about coming home, and that's, it's a guy like Tavares. He wants to be here. What a great opportunity. Listen, those three guys are going to make a difference, no question. Still a little bit of question marks on the goaltending. Anderson is just, again, I always go back to the fact, and you know that too, there are practice players, there are game players, and then there are pressure players. And right now, the only thing that Anderson has not proven is the fact that he's a pressure goaltender in the playoffs. He's been tremendous through the regular season. He just has not yet. He's let that 1 or 2 easy goals go in, and it's certainly changed the dynamic of the game. So I'm worried about that. Listen, let's go to their draft. Obviously, they got to draft 15th overall. I was confused with the draft. Obviously, I was looking for them to maybe pick a truculence or somebody that was, maybe a Canadian, no disrespect to the Russians, but maybe a Canadian, maybe close to home type of player. And they went with Rodion Amirov, and not many people know much about him. And so I'm concerned that, we didn't take that need of having somebody that plays with a little bit of grit. And I think that's what the Toronto Maple Leafs need. I think they got a lot of talent, as you know, up front. I thought they should be looking more towards somebody that can play that aggressive role. Your thoughts?
Well, you know what? I think picking 15th overall for that first pick with Amirov, I think it's a good bargain for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think he's going to make it the first year. He's right out of the KHL. But with the signings that they just did with Brody, Simmons, and Bogosian, I think they're well in business right now for this coming season. I think they just took a chance with Amirov, and honestly, that's a pretty good deal that they got that player. He's a very good player, a young player playing in the KHL with adults. And the only thing he's got to get used to the North American style of hockey.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that's, so it's a lot. It's very different than playing in larger surfaces. So ice surfaces. So I think that he's a very good player. Honestly, for a young player that age playing with adults, he's doing extremely good. But I think for the Leafs, I think they took a chance on that kid.
Yeah. Well, he plays in UFA, and obviously being in the KHL makes a big difference. At 19 years old, he's going to have the ability to play with adults, as you say, or men versus boys, and that is a big advantage, no question. Listen, Leon Draisaitl, we all know the MVP for the German national team this year, has come on and just taken the NHL by storm. But we got to remember, he played here for the Prince Albert Raiders and had some real big success. So he's not just coming out of Europe and getting onto the North American ice surface and trying to learn the game. He learned the game. He learned the most amount of his NHL-style game here in North America. So I think that's a huge advantage. Listen, let's move on.
But you know what, Gouche? There's something else about this draft also, is that a lot of North American players and USA players, they finished their season earlier than in Europe. So I think from now on, especially this season and the 2021 NHL draft, you're going to see a lot more European players being drafted than North American players. So we just have to get used to it, because the scouts will actually see those players more on the ice, playing wise, than our players here. If you're looking at the junior major here in Quebec, there's already cases of COVID and there's games canceled and all that. So that's probably why there's more OHL and WHL players drafted this year, and USA under 18 players being drafted. So you'll see more and more of those USA players and European players being drafted in this year and in the following years.
Well, of course, too, we have to realize at a time of pandemic, nobody actually knows when the season's going to start. There's talk of it maybe starting on New Year's Day. That's a big dream of our friend Bettman. So we'll have to wait to see. Listen, if it doesn't start till, let's say, February, March, April, some of these guys will be off for well over 12 months.
I agree. And it's like wasting, I think, the way it's going right now here in Quebec, I think we're going to waste 2 years of good players, quality players that could be drafted in either the juniors and then the NHL. So, it's something that the leagues, Hockey Quebec or Hockey Canada, they really have to think about, do we have to play or not? And if not, well, it's going to give European players a lot of more chances, and players from Russia. If you look at this year's draft, and we really have to think about that here in Canada. If what we want to do with our players, or waste 2 years of pretty good players that are not going to end up anywhere.
Yeah, listen, let's move on to the Ottawa Senators. I know that you've been following this very closely. They signed Matthew Pekka, not a big signing, but somebody that will certainly help them. But the Matt Murray in that years, good deal. He's a proven goaltender. He, obviously had lost his starting job in Pittsburgh, and Yari was, the guy that they were going to turn to. I like this signing, because of what they did in the draft, signing Tim Stützle, 3rd overall, a great German who has a lot of potential. A lot of people are saying that he may be as impactful one day as Leon Draisaitl, and we've seen what he's all about. Not sure he's going to step in and play right away, but certainly going to help them. And there may be an advantage to these young guys that they're drafting too. Don't forget the World Juniors will be played in Edmonton in a bubble. So guys like Tim Stützle will be on the German national team. So that won't be a bad option for him. And then in 5th overall, they drafted Jake Sanderson. Son of Jeff Sanderson, a very solid hockey player. What are your thoughts on Ottawa, where they sit right now? Bobby Ryan going to Detroit. Of course, they weren't re-signing him. A big shout out to him. Really loved the guy through all his trials and tribulations. I think they'll miss him. But let's talk about your thoughts on the Ottawa Senators.
Well, out of if I compare Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal, I think Ottawa got the best deal out of it. They actually had 6 picks in the first 2 rounds. So that's huge for that kind of organization. Stutzel obviously is coming from the DEL league, so they're starting to get players in that league within the NHL, which proves that the development that they're doing there is very good. And actually, in Europe in general, I think they're doing a better job than what we're doing here as far as developing players. So I think Stutzel is a great sign. He can either play center or a left wing. Young kid. I mean, overall, he's got the hockey sense. He's fast. He's a great playmaker. So I think for the Ottawa Senators, I wouldn't be surprised if that kid would play right away, starting in December or January, the season that's coming up. As far as Sanderson, defenseman, he's coming out of the USA under 18, and another great signing, 5th overall. I mean, I think he's going to make it this year because Ottawa is actually developing and give his chances to their younger players.
Yeah.
And I think that this year, because of everything that's happening with the pandemic, it's going to be a lot younger NHL season. You're going to see a lot of more younger players playing this year than comparing to other years. So and Sanderson is very skilled. He's a very good skater, defenseman. So, and that's what they're looking for. So I think, for me, Ottawa has done a great job drafting this year, especially with the signing of Matt Murray. I think that's going to make a huge difference. They also signed Logan Shaw for a couple of years. So I think they're going to, those players are going to help the younger kids. And
you missed one that, on the 28th pick, they picked up Ridley Craig.
Ridley Craig, yeah.
How do you say his last name?
Craig or Krieg or whatever.
Listen, I'll tell you, we always have fun with names on Gouche Live, but I'll tell you what, I like this signing. Pedigree, father in the NHL, certainly knows the game, been around the dressing rooms, so that'll help him tremendously. So I think Stutzel starts, no question. I think it'll take him a little bit to get into it, but I think he does have the talent and the ability, and they do have room on that roster for him. I think Sanderson also gets the start. Whether or not he finishes in the NHL may be a question mark. And then, of course, they had Krieg, but I'm not sure he's going to crack the lineup yet. But I'll tell you what, with Tkachuk, they've got a young, dynamic team coming up. Listen,
but just to talk about Krieg, I wouldn't be surprised if he cracked the lineup, because he's a little nasty kind of player. He likes the physical part of it. So I think that's going to give space. It's rare that I would say that for a young kid, but playing on a 3rd or 4th line for that kid, I think that would be a good fit with the Ottawa Senators.
Well, plus he can play both center and wing.
Exactly.
As can Stutzel, so they can move those guys around. Played for Brandon, Western Hockey League, so he's got that grit, or that the Brandon Wheat Kings play a really good style of full pressure, lots of body. So you're right, he may be able to fit in that lineup. Hey, listen, on the right hand side, we always have a lot of comments, so let's just whip through a couple of them right here. Thanks for coming on tonight. Gooch thought you would have been at home busy making pies and all the other great stuff. No, Tony did that. And our Thanksgiving today was a little bit different. Her father's with her other sister. They're living together. Her other sister is very ill with Parkinson's, a very nasty disease. And we were not allowed to stay. We had to just drive by, pick up our turkey that they cooked. Usually it's a big feast. So we dropped by and said hello to everybody, but certainly a different type of Thanksgiving. So thank you for bringing it up. Here's a question. I see Danik has joined us in the green room. We'll bring him up in a few minutes. Aaron Kuzak, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. He's in lockup. They actually only get 1 to 2 hours a day to go out. They can only go 5 kilometers away from their house. If they get caught, huge fine. And they can't go, they can only go out from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's enforced, bud. Like we're talking military style almost. So he's asking this question: could it be time in the bubble to start a new season? The NHLPA has said no, there's not going to be a bubble. And it'd be really tough to start the NHL with a bubble. And you know what? I know Danik's probably close to the scenes and, training with guys and obviously getting ready to go to another training camp for the NHL. Love to hear his perspective on would the players even consider that.
But there's also they just finished the Stanley Cup Finals, and for the teams that have been out of it for a long time, it's going to be hard to just come back. So just giving time to heal the small injuries and all that. I think what I've heard so far is that training camps would start in December, and then the new NHL season would start January 1st. So that's where we stand for now.
That's confusing to me because they're actually holding the World Juniors. It goes throughout the whole Christmas holidays. Not sure why the NHL would like to start up at that time, but certainly it's on the table, and we are going to know more as it goes along. Listen, I want to continue here with Aaron Kuzak. Remember, we've been on lockdown. They've been down for 6 months. Only way to be safe is to start the new season in a bubble. So I know that's not going to happen. Barry Shelley, go Mustangs, go. He sees one of the jerseys here, the Melbourne Mustangs in Australia. Barry Shelley is being barbed by Sean Dukes. He's in Melbourne, and he's saying, no, Melbourne Ice. They have 2 teams, Melbourne Ice, Melbourne Mustangs, and it's a huge rivalry. Listen, I'm not sure what this is. As a Penguin fan, this confuses me. Sam Trapolino, just because you're a Penguins fan doesn't mean you're confused anyways, for God's sake. So stop that silliness. We must have some good juniors coming up through. Listen, I think it's Penguins time. We won't go deep into that because I want to get to the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going to bring Danik up into the conversation. Don't want him just sit around in the green room and get fat on the M&Ms and the glasses of wine that we've set out.
I hope not. I hope not. And I hope he's not doing that.
Oh, yeah, he is. I sent it specifically to him because, I know what type of a stringent guy you are, and you're not going to allow him to have any beer and wine. So he's got a 24 Molson Canadian and some really nice red wine from Australia, all right?
Ooh.
So we won't talk about the Penguins. The only thing I'll send you some. The only thing we're going to say about the Penguins is that with Crosby, Malcolm, the time is running out. This is their year. They're going to have to do more than what they've done. We'll leave it at that. Our good buddy Jordan Kolachuk from Sydney, Australia. We're worldwide. Gouche Live spares no expense. We advertise all over the world, and we've got Kolachuk. He's in the car. Thanks for letting us know that. It's really important. LOL, love the Mustangs ever since they sent me some items of their team. Love watching them on YouTube. Wow, this is getting cool. Look at big fight. Barry Shelley, great work. Then by the Mustangs. Both Melbourne teams are good. All right. Those are our comments as we go through. I know we're going to get some more comments. Listen, you're watching Gouche Live featuring Paul Rosen. Rosie's taking the night off. He's eating turkey dinner with his beautiful girlfriend, Ariana. We want to send them the best and happy Turkey Day. And, of course, it's brought to you by the Hockey News. And now, as you know, Sports Illustrated. And we've got a new studio being built here. I got new lighting. It's all coming together, kid.
Wow.
And over there, you remember the Gouche? Look at those are my skates.
Oh,
look at the helmet. Jump a bucket.
You could get a free meal for those skates. You know that, eh?
No, actually, they're True Line. They're Gordie Howe skates out of Eaton's. And those got the red nipples. I actually had the white nipples on my skates.
That's why your skin looks so good with that light.
We'll leave it there. Okay. Hey, listen, we've got an unbelievable guy. And this guy has no idea how much I know about him for the simple fact he played with a bunch of my buddies.
Aha.
And now I'm 61, and this kid, I think he's 25. And my buddies are about 34, played with him. And he'll know the names when I bring them up, of course. He played with them. We got Danik Martel. Danik, what's going on?
Not much, you.
I am fantastic. Anytime I get a chance to talk to a Lehigh Valley Phantom, I'm honored. I don't know if you know it, but I run a thing called the Ice Hockey Classic.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of your boys come over to Sheffield, England, if you recall. And one of my all-time favorite, greatest people, TJ Brennan.
Played
Loved
with
it.
him for about 3 years, I think.
Yeah. How nice is that dude?
He's nice. He's nice. He plays hard every game. I mean, he's one of the AHL All-Star for sure. You've been there for what, 6-7 times now at the AHL Classic. So, no, he's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, fantastic.
But you know what, Gooch? Danik actually wants to play once we were allowed. He wants to go in Australia and play there. For
He's
the
coming.
Classic.
We've already signed him up.
Yeah, TJ
All right.
was there for a while. I learned about that from him. So, yeah.
I'm doing great.
Is this spectators allowed or not?
Yeah, you can go in.
I can go in.
Yeah, why not?
live show. That's what's going on, eh?
This is Gouche Live. I'm in an actual rink. I don't know if you know it, Danik, but this is called Paramount Sports. It's an ice facility. And my Zamboni driver's watching me to the left there. Davey's making sure I'm doing a great show. And we're live right in the middle of it's a skate shop. And skate shops don't make any money right now because there's nobody coming to the rink other than the people going on it. So I've got this great studio right here because of Jeff Emerald. It's been fantastic. And we're building it out as we speak. Hey, listen, also a really cool guy that I got to meet, Nicholas. How do you say his last name?
Obey Kubel.
How good is that kid?
He's nice.
I
know him for a while now. I lived with him 2 years in Philly when I was in Lehigh. And after he had success this year, that was fun for him. I mean, he deserved that success. He worked so hard to get it. And, he had success in playoff, a grinder. I mean, he plays hard, power forward. So, yeah, really nice guy, and he plays hard.
Well, you'll be on his line when you make it to the Ice Hockey Classic. Your agent, the Flying Frenchman. You don't need an agent on our tour. But I'll tell you what, the boys were unbelievable, not only in Sheffield, England, but in Australia. Reese Wilcox. Reese Wilcox.
Reed, yeah.
Yeah. Is it Reese or Reed?
Reese Wilcox.
They sent me Wilcom, but I know him as Wilcox. Great guy. He was fantastic. And another guy that trains out here in Toronto at Paramount Sports is Philip Veroni.
Yeah.
All right. So you played for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. You've been in Syracuse, but with the Crunch, you're now with the Springfield Thunderbirds, who are an affiliate. I assume, are they an affiliate of the Florida Panthers?
Yeah, they were.
Okay. And then you played for the Philadelphia Flyers. I saw you got up and got a couple of games there, and you played for Tampa Bay. So what I want to do is I want to show some great pictures of you. Here you are in Lehigh Valley.
Yes.
There you are with my buddy TJ. Who's the gentleman on the right?
Coburn Knight.
Okay, I've not met him. And this is one of my all-time favorite. This gentleman is also in Australia. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to see if you can pick this player out, Danik, okay? Do you think you can do it?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Burns.
Brent Burns. Oh, yeah.
He was unbelievable. He came on the tour, and he's one of the all-time craziest players I ever played. You're not only a good hockey player, but in 2014-15, you were the CHL Humanitarian of the Year. That is a great honor. Obviously, you give back as much as you put on the ice, you do off the ice. Congratulations. I know it's a few years back, but I just love players that not only play the game, but they actually live life and they give back when they can. Tell us about that. How did that contribution?
Well, I had a grandma that really bring me everywhere with her, where she was not working for money. She was working to help people. So I just started following her at the age of maybe 7, 8 years old. After I had a program at school, I was doing some community work for my program. So I just started loving it and keep doing it. And after, because hockey the kids are looking at you, so you want to get involved in the community, help them to learn how to play the game, or just be there for them, be a good model for them. So I just brought it over there, and at my 20s, I just did more things than others maybe, but there's a lot of players that do a lot off the ice, and I was one of them. So I think I insist of every player do a bit, then we have a pretty good project in front of us.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, there's a lot of comments on the right-hand side, but before I go to that, I'd like our friend, the Flying Frenchman, give us a perspective on Danik. I know you you're working him through his systems right now, getting him ready to someday get to an NHL camp. Before I ask Danik the question about what is the COVID situation meant to you and how do you keep, it's one thing to be physically strong and ready to play, but it's also this mental fatigue that's set in. How do you keep a guy like Danik on the up and straight and narrow? Because it's got to be tough for these young men that aren't able to do what they want to do. So from a trainer's perspective, tell us how good Danik works, if you don't mind. And then, of course, how have you kept him physically fit and also mentally fit?
Well, this is kind of a weird season because usually it would be done right now, and he would be at training camp or very close to starting the season. So, and like you just heard, Danik is he's a great guy. Honestly, that's what he's saying. He's exactly that kind of guy. Working hard. Obviously, sometimes he argues and he doesn't want to train or do the exercise, but it's just for fun. And the thing is, right now, is to keep it fun. It's hard work, but we want to keep it fun at the same time. So we're in the gym every day for now, and a month prior to camp, then we're going to start hitting the ice slowly. So. But honestly, for myself, I've trained Danik on the ice a couple, 2-3 years ago, I think, Danik, in Sherbrooke or Drummondville.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I'm training him in the gym, and we're just having a ball right now. It's hard work, but we're trying to make it fun and having a good time dealing with what's going on with the pandemic and all that. So we're in the gym about an hour and a half at least a day. Yeah. So but tomorrow is it's a holiday, Danik, so I may give you a day off.
Hey, listen, Danik, make sure you don't tell them about the red wine and the M&Ms in the bowl, okay?
Never. They're just hiding behind my computer. We're fine.
Fantastic. Well,
thank God I'm the good one in this.
Thank God the shipment showed up. Hey, listen, Danik, talk to us a little bit about, obviously, physically you're obviously staying in shape. You're not on the ice yet? You're just solely dry land trading?
Exactly, yeah, in the gym pretty much every morning.
Yeah. So obviously you're 25 years old. You've come through, a bunch of training camps. And the reason why I wanted you on today specifically is tell us how great the Flying Frenchman is, but also more importantly, to tell us what this means right now. Obviously it's free agency. I'm a Frenchman too. I just want to let you know that. I just tell us about obviously the situation of being a free agent. You're getting ready to, are you signed? Do you have a deal signed right now?
Not yet. Okay. we see the market right now. It's just we don't know what's going on. The first day, I think only 5 goalies signed up, and after that, everything was pretty slow. Everything is still slow. Taylor Hall didn't sign yet, or maybe in the past hours, but he didn't sign yet. So the best player available on the market didn't sign.
Right.
So the GMs are not really ready to involve players.
I've heard that Hall just signed in Buffalo.
See, I said maybe a couple hours
ago. Don't say that. Not Buffalo.
That's what I received. I just received it as information. Tyler Hall in Buffalo.
Where did Danik Martel sign then? I want to hear that.
Hopefully you're going to sign where you're going to play in the NHL. That's what I hope for you.
So tell us about that situation for a guy that, you've had, I think 9 games in the National Hockey League. There's a book just written actually by my good friend Ken Reed, where it was one to remember. and it was a bunch of players that only played one game. So, playing 9 games in the National Hockey League, someone would say, oh my God, just to get there is tough enough. To stay there is even harder. So a compliment to you. But with free agency, obviously you're with Springfield, and that's in the Florida Panthers chain. If you get traded, let's say hypothetically, or you get signed by Los Angeles Kings, that means then you have to move to, if you don't make the big club, you're then moving to a new AHL club. Is that how we understand it?
That's correct. I mean, I've been in 3 AHL clubs. I played 4 games with Philly my third year. And after I went to Tampa, so I played AHL with Syracuse. I played 1 year, full year with Tampa, but I played only 9 games during the season.
Okay.
So that was a long mental season, but I learned a lot. And it was the season that Tampa just had 62 wins, and we lost in first round against Columbus in 4.
That's right.
I was there for that. Yeah. My teammate that was in the stands with me was Ryan Callahan. So, I mean, the team was really good. If Ryan was in the stand, I mean, I don't think Danik Martel, his first year pro, will be in front of him in playoff or in season. But, I mean, it's good experience. And after just moving, I got traded 9 games before the COVID. So I played 9 games with the AHL in Panthers. And
9
it
points.
went really well. Just after that, we stopped and we came back here. And
hey,
Gouche, can I say something about him? Because he doesn't sell himself very well. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't.
Do you know that he played with Simmons?
Love it, Wayne Simmons. I did not know that, but thank you for bringing that up.
He played on the line with Simmons, and for Danik is. I relate to him because we're the same height. I mean, he's 5'8", and
I'm stronger than him.
I used to be 6'1", but after 50, you get shorter. So I'm 5'8" now.
He's not 5'2". Come on, honestly.
He's 5'8". But you know what? He played 4 years with the Phantoms in the AHL. He's got 120 points. He played with the Flyers. He played 4 games with the Flyers. He plays with Tampa Bay. He got 9 games. He got 2 points. Syracuse, he was there for a couple of years. 56 games, 40 points. Springfield, 8 games, 9 points, and all those points were on 5-on-5. He doesn't get power plays and stuff like that, so that makes a huge difference. Absolutely. And the difference between the NHL and the AHL, I find it a lot easier in the NHL because the players that are there, they save their energy. If you look at a game, they save a lot of energy on the ice. They don't skate for nothing. As in the AHL, everyone is playing from themselves. Try to make it, and it's a very different kind of game. So for Danik to have all those points without being able to be on the power play is exceptional. So I think for me, if I'd be a GM in any NHL team, I would go for a guy like Danik. Obviously, I train him, but
that's why you're not though.
Hey, how much percentage are we going to get for this? I'm going to find a team. Hey, listen, that's a compliment, no question. We all know that. I was a power play expert in my team. 90% of my goals were on the power play because I couldn't skate well enough. No, but that is a true testament to how good you are. And again, we're not here to pump your tires and that sort of stuff. That's what Francois, the Flying Frenchman, is supposed to do.
He just did, but it's the first time of his career, I think so. You might keep it like that.
Okay, we'll train tomorrow. You'll suffer.
So talk to me a little bit about, now you brought up the fact that Wayne Simmons is going to play. Did you ever play with Phil Veroni? Did you play on a line with him, or did you have a chance?
No, I was on the 4th line in Lehigh. He was on the 1st line, so I didn't play with him.
All right, sorry. I don't know that, so no discredit. You should have been on the 1st line if it was Francois being your agent. When you played with Wayne Simmons, what type of a guy is he?
I mean, bigger than me, but he's playing a bit the same way I play. He goes in front of the net. He's a power forward. He was skating well. I mean, he's getting older and older, but he was a good player when I played with him. I played with Nolan Patrick and Wayne Simmons my forward game. I was on the second line. I was going to be on the power play the next game, but I got sent down. Yeah, I mean, everything was going well. The players around me were fine, were liking me. They give me some love. They try to help me to be better and better and better. I mean, my first shift in the NHL, I touched the post. I would have scored. Maybe I would have stayed 10 more games. But when I went up with the Flyers, I was there for the 6, 7, 8, and 9 lost in a row that the Flyers had. So they put me down in the AHL, and after I broke my jaw, so I went out for 2 months and never went back up with the Flyers.
Francois, just before you comment on Danik and his ability to play in the National Hockey League, Danik, I want to get a true feeling of when a player leaves in the AHL from one team to the other. How difficult is that leaving a club? Because I've seen you've done it a couple times, leaving your teammates. As we know, most of the time it feels like family, and all of a sudden you're uprooted maybe halfway through the season and you're going to another club. How hard is that on the mental part of the game? I'd love to hear that.
I mean, at the age of 25, no family, you're just trying to make it. So you do everything you can, even if you move around or not. You always, well, the 3 teams I did in the AHL, I don't know about the others, but the 3 teams I did, I played for, were really good players too, and good players on and off the ice. So I had a way to bring my leadership to the team, and the team liked me. The players around me respect me. Even in Syracuse, my last year, I wear assistant captain. We had a lot of French guys too that helped. If not, I mean, it's easy. Just like I said, the age, no family. It's easier to move around. But if not, I mean, you play for a team. I'm a team player, so you come in a team, you try to get the respect of every player. You try to make your way to the NHL, but you got to respect the guys around you. So AHL or NHL, you got to respect everyone, and everyone try to respect you too. There's always people that are not, but mostly everyone is fine with you. So yeah,
that was a great answer. I'd love to hear that perspective because it is different when you do have family. So thank you for giving the insight on that. Listen, you're listening to Gouche Live featuring Paul Rosen. Paul Rosen is not with us tonight. He's out enjoying, I guess it's called turkey dinner. But we had this question from Aaron Kuzak. Is the Mercedes studio broken down? Where's Rosie? The ongoing joke, of course, is that sometimes Paul has to shoot his show out of the Mercedes studio. He owns a Mercedes car, so I love that part of it. Listen, take us, Francois, from your perspective now, getting Danik ready for this next season. Is there a plan? Did you two sit down and say, okay, Danik, this is what you need to work on. And Danik would say to you, Francois, these are the things I think I should work on. Do you guys sit around and try and develop a plan for the next, let's say, obviously with the pandemic, it's a little bit different. Or is it just, you just get in the room, you get in the workout studio and you just work?
Well, a little bit of both. We spoke a little bit before when Danik contacted me, for training. We spoke a little bit, and then the first time that we were in the gym, if you recall, Danik, we worked on a few different things, and then I saw, the weaknesses that we had to work on, and and Danik is a pretty good athlete overall. So basically, the only thing that was missing is the stabilizers that we had to work on, and I think now, he had a problem with his knee, one of his knees, going in a lot. So we worked on getting that a little stronger. But we talk a lot. Pretty much every day we're in the gym. We we joke around, but it's it's we have to get him ready. Basically, we have to get him ready for the upcoming season. So training camp in November and or December, and then the season starts supposedly in December in January. So
have they established a training camp yet, or have they said to you, Danik, or to Francois, look at plan on maybe
December?
Okay.
They're saying training camp for now is December, and NHL season would start early January. So
all right. Listen, we've got a lot of comments on the right-hand side. I want to go to them if you don't mind. Sean Dukes, we haven't had any sporting events in Melbourne since the lockdown. We didn't even have men's or women's. Listen, they're in Melbourne, Australia. They're completely shut down. Sam Trapolino, Melbourne Mexicans go the adrenaline. That's getting a little silly. Not sure what that means. Sam, gotta love the Mexicans. Question for you. Barry Shelley, a big supporter of it. Loved watching you play in Syracuse for the Crunch. Tell us about Syracuse. Obviously, I know that in the AHL, some of these smaller franchises have the most electric fans. Tell us about Syracuse and the fans.
The rink is pretty small over there, but it's always pretty packed. They're really close to you too, so they feel like family. The city is pretty small beside the college that's there, so the fans are pretty much always the same. The fans, they know you, and Syracuse is really fun to play over there.
Hey, listen, I guess this is a barb coming from Australia to you and me. Francois, as soon as our friend Danik came on, the average age of the show just got a lot better. I'll tell you what, don't they know who I am?
Gouche, we're getting older. No, let's face it.
Hey, Danik, playing in Syracuse, please tell me you ate at Dinosaur BBQ.
Barbecue.
I actually didn't. I had some when I played for other teams, and we slept at the hotel. We went to Dinosaur Barbecue, but not when I was living there.
Well, obviously, under the strict diet that Francois is giving you, no M&Ms. Certainly going to a Dinosaur Barbecue and doing the old Freddie Flintstone probably is not on the diet. Listen, how good was Nicholas in Australia? What a kid! I'll tell you what a nice man, young man. He was absolutely sensational on the ice and work. He's such a worker, so it's great to have him on. Listen, Gouche gets the deals done in Australia. We've had Canada-U.S. players on tour get drafted back in the NHL. That's not true. But Brent Burns came, and then the next year, what did he win?
Stanley Cup.
No. He hasn't won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, no, it's true. He won the best player in what did he win? The best defenseman?
Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
Just coming to Australia. So I'll tell you what, you got to come on the tour, buddy. Hey, here's a good one too. Burnsy is the man, one of the nicest players. That's coming from a gentleman that met him in obviously in our tour down under. Lucille,
you know what, Gouche? The only thing is Danik is going to grow a ZZ Top beard and lose a couple teeth, and that's it.
To look like him.
Yeah.
No, there's no. He's already good looking. Let's not change that. Listen, Lucille O'Sullivan, thank you for joining us. Here's a great question. I don't know, Danik, do you remember playing against a kid named Nathan Walker?
Yeah, if I'm right, he's kind of my type of player too.
He's exactly like you. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's pretty small. He was playing in Hershey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I played a lot. Yeah. We played when I was in Lehigh. We played 12 games every season against him. Really good player. He works hard. He had his success over there. He works hard every game. We had some challenges in front of the net, maybe a couple of pushes, a couple of fights, but he's a pretty good guy though, on and off the ice. I'm sure of that.
Fantastic. Listen, a compliment coming to you, and take them when you get them, because I know Francois is going to be working you hard when he hears all these great compliments. Modesty is becoming for a young man. Good luck for you in the future, Danik. Just kick ass on the ice. And if you know Lucille, she's very religious, so using the word ass is a big thing for her. But true. I don't know you personally. Francois has mentioned to you, if you play anything like Nick and, of course, our friend Nathan, I know that you're a gritty, hard-nosed. You play bigger than your size. I sometimes hate hearing that, but honestly, it's important to know that players don't have to be big anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've always looked at these 6'4", 6'8" defensemen. And I'm telling you what, you probably walked around them all. We're not aging as birthdays and isolations don't count. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, don't know what to say on that one.
All right, Nick. Well, you don't have to worry. You're going to 26. I'm going to 62.
He's 25.
Kind of turned
He's
around.
25.
But when he goes to 26, I'll be 62. So we'll switch it around a little bit. Tell me one of your most memorable moments playing ice hockey, regardless of what league, regardless of how old you were. Just say something that you say, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this.
I mean, the two first days of my NHL debut, I mean, this was something. I had a really good start in the AHL. I was 14 goals in 14 games. So Flyers called me up the day before I played my first game. I got a driver that came and get me at my house. Me and Sam Moran, that was with the Flyers then. He's still
great
there.
Great guy.
So we drove to Brooklyn. We were playing Islanders. I played about 10 games with the preseason. I played 10 games of my first 12 against Islanders. So I was not surprised that my first game in the season was against Islanders. So I went there. I knew the rink. I played there in the past. I had time to call all my parents, my girlfriend at the time, my mom, everyone tried to just call off to the job and drove to Brooklyn. That was not that far from Drummondville, where I'm from. And after just playing the game, I was not even stressed because everything was going too quick. First shift, I remember I was just going wide to the right, 2-on-1, and decided to shoot and hit the crossbar, went out of the rink. I was so close to get a point, a goal. Went back to the bench. I heard Lappy, Jan Laperriere, the coach, came behind me and just joking, like, at least if you shot on net, that would be marked on the stat sheets.
Yeah.
Shot on net. So I was joking about that, and the game went really good. And that was one of the best experiences of my life. Even if every game is special, this one was a good one too.
Yeah.
I have a question, Gouche.
Absolutely, please.
I know the answer, but for the people listening, Danik, you've played in different teams, regardless of the league. Once again, which coach that gave you the most knowledge, or which coach that you learned the most from?
I mean, everything changed in my career when I was with the Armada. So when I had Joel Bouchard as a coach, everyone says around him that he's a hard coach. He's tough on players. He kills players pretty much. But for me, he changed my life. He actually really changed my life. The way I play, the way I see the game. So yeah, I have so much respect for him, because sometimes he's hard on you, but you could be hard on him, but he's giving you what you give him. So if you play a good game, he's going to give you a lot. If you play a bad game, then he's going to talk to you respectfully, but he's going to talk to you for sure, because this can happen often. Even if you're 18, 19, 15 years old in the queue, you got to play your best game every night. So I learned a lot on that, and that's why at 20 years old, I had a really good season over there.
So let's talk about that 2014-15. We're taking you back a little bit. 64 games, 48 goals, 54 assists for 102 points. Wow, those are big numbers in the QMJHL. the question is not about that. The question is about, think about what's going on now. Some young men just like you who are either in the Q or in the dub, or they're playing in the O, and they were, say, in January, they're on a team that they had this run to go maybe deep in the playoffs and maybe get that chance to go after the Memorial Cup. Go to the psyche of a player, because you at least had the opportunity through a whole year. Did you ever get? I apologize, I didn't read it in your bio, but did you get into the playoffs and get a chance to go on to try for a Memorial Cup?
Well, yeah, my 2 first years, we had a really good team. We went 2 times in semifinal against Baie-Comeau. My first year, we had a full team brawl against Baie-Comeau. We played against them the next year too in semifinal. We lost again, and both times they went in final and they lost to Halifax and I don't remember Val d'Or when Aubé-Kubel was there. Okay. 2 times they lost, but I did 2 times the semifinal.
So my question to you is, then, you had that experience, that feeling of having almost achieved, but think about it. Give me the psyche of a player today, then, that, it's the first time in 102 years that the Memorial Cup will not be played or didn't get played. You're on that team and you're getting a chance, and all of a sudden the pandemic shuts you out and you can't go back. At least now, when you get into pro, you've got an opportunity to still win a trophy in the East Coast League or in the AHL, or get to the NHL and win a trophy in, win the Stanley Cup, or go to Europe. But as a junior, that's it. You're not able to go back. What would that mean to somebody? How would a player feel of it being taken away from them, not because of their inability or the team inability of going further?
But for sure, for me, there's a reason why the only trophy that got given this year was the Stanley Cup. It's the most prestigious trophy in the world, and that's why I'm starting by that, because I don't think, it's a big trophy winning the Memorial Cup, but I mean, the kid of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old is not becoming a better man or a better player because he's winning that trophy. You could be losing in the final and learning more than someone that wins easily at that age. So, I mean, that's why winning a Stanley Cup is so important, and that's why the Memorial Cup won't happen with big things happening in life, like the pandemic that we have right now.
Okay, great.
And you know what? Gouche, is what's sad about it right now is we don't know yet if there's going to be a junior major season here, and it's if there's not, it's like, the kids that are actually there waiting to get drafted in the 2021 NHL entry draft, or the players midget AAA waiting to get drafted in the queue. It's like we're going to waste 2 years of good players. That's what's sad about it right now in this situation. So, that's why I was saying at the beginning of the show, I think Hockey Canada, Hockey USA, or Hockey Quebec really have to think about the consequences of wasting good draft potential players in the future. So if for some reason the junior major or the OHL or WHL doesn't play this year because of the pandemic, I think we're going to waste 2 years of very good players, and that would be sad.
And the development of, right, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
Listen, there's a couple more questions coming. Thank you for all the time you've given us, Danik. I don't want to keep you too late. Have you had your turkey dinner yet, or is that tomorrow?
No, not yet. After.
Okay,
I got my M&Ms for now, so I'm good.
We'll speed this up because I'm waiting for my gravy at home. Listen, there are a couple of really good questions here that I want to go through, and there's one that I really am excited to know the answer to. Some of these questions are coming from fans of hockey. Some of them are coming from this morning. I was on at 5:30 this morning with Sam Trapolino. We do Gouche live Aussie style. And we had Rick Ladson, an incredible story, a legend on and off the field. please don't take it in the wrong vein. You yourself are good on the rink and off the rink, which is fantastic. He happens to be a legend. Hopefully someday you will be that too. Here are the questions and the points that I really thought were interesting. Aaron Kuzak from Australia. They've heard a lot of guys on these shows. What a great man Danik is, and great to see you making the most of your opportunities. Listen, there are some people that just think entitlement, that because you're a good hockey player, you just automatically make it. You got to put the work in, right? And certainly you're doing that. Barry said, I watched him. Did we already ask this one? I watched him when he came to Utica to play. Oh, sorry, the comments. There were always huge games. When you went to Utica, did you feel that? Did you feel oh my God, this is a huge game and the fans are right into it?
When I played with Lehigh, I would say less, just because we play maybe 4 games a season. So the rivalry is less. But when I played in Syracuse, then we play, I think, 16 games against Utica. So there's more things happening. There's more fans too, because Utica is like an hour away from Syracuse. So, I mean, those games were fun. Those games are why we play hockey. There's a lot of people in the stands. You put a show, but you try to win a hockey game and have some fun during the game. So, yeah, it's always fun to play in Utica or where else.
Hey, Francois, I had a chance to go through Utica. I had to stay overnight, something wrong with the car, and I stayed at the Red Roof.
Yeah. Oh, the Red Roof.
It was the only hotel that was open. Listen, we're just going to run through these right now, and then I'll give you final thoughts with Francois and yourself, Danik. Here's a great question. How do you feel when you see fans wearing your number on their jersey and your name? It's got to be really gratifying.
Yeah, especially when they're there every game supporting you. I mean, that's why I'm involved in community. This is for those people. They're there for you. They're watching you every day, every game. They're giving you some hopes to reach the next level. So, I mean, it's always a pleasure to see they wear the name. And, I mean, if they didn't have respect for me and I was just a good hockey player and they just buy my jersey to buy it, it would mean differently. But I think that when they wear my jersey, they're proud of the person I am, the person the way I play. So I love to see that. And yeah, I would meet every one of them. I would be happy, really happy.
Great answer. Danik, you have a great head on your shoulders coming from Barry Shelley. There's one more question, then we get into some controversy, all right? Do you know, is there a fan club of Danik Martel? Is there a Danik Martel fan club anywhere?
Yes, I am one. I'm a big fan.
I'm a fan now too.
I would say my first fan base is for sure my family.
Okay.
But I had a lot of. I was involved with a ice hockey team in Lehigh that was special hockey community over there. Yeah. And I was really involved with them. I would say even when I came back and played my first game with Syracuse in Lehigh, they were all behind the bench, and I love those kids. Those kids didn't have it easy, sometimes worse than everyone. So I was there for them. I would say my first fan base are really that group of players that I met in Lehigh.
All right, good. Before we go to the controversial question, Sean Ducks. Sean, tell me, I've seen you many times. Sean, tell us where you're located. I don't know which part of Australia. He's going to start a fan club, even though, and here's what we're going to do. Danik, wherever you sign this year, I'm going to buy a jersey, and we're going to put that jersey up for auction, and we'll raise some money for one of our charities called Connected, which is mental health. Obviously, it's a big part of it. So I'm going to get a jersey, if you don't mind giving a signature on it, and we'll put it up there. And Sean, I want you to go out. Yes, you are. Now I recall exactly where you are and who you are. So hey, I'm telling you, Sean, I want to get at least 50 members of the Danik Martel fan club. All right. It's going to happen. You watch this go. All right. Here's the controversy. This is the last question of the night. And then hopefully you like each other tomorrow. Sam Trapolino, who played cricket. Now think about it.
He played cricket.
Of all the games he played. I went to a true story. Have you ever been to a cricket match?
No, never.
Ken?
Never.
Have you, Francois?
Oh, I've played.
Okay, listen.
I know about that. That's a problem.
Hang on a second here. Not a plastic. We're not talking about a plastic ball and a plastic stick.
Oh, not that one. Okay.
They actually run and they throw this ball and it goes like 150 kilometers an hour. You're supposed to try and whack it with, I don't know, looks like a soup ladle.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
crazy.
Like last 3 days or something.
Yeah, no. So the first time I ever went to a cricket match was in Barbados, and I was with this young lady, and she said, "Hey, let's go to a cricket match." So we sit there, and okay. 3 hours later, oh, let's have tea. What do you mean? So they stopped. Everybody stopped, and the guys went off, and you saw them drinking tea, and then they kept going for another 2 hours. And I said, "Wow, this was fantastic. I really hated it." But she says, "Oh, are you coming back tomorrow?" I said, "What do you mean coming back tomorrow?" It's a 4-day test. I said, "Listen, you put me asleep once. I don't need to be put asleep a couple more times." So you got to remember where the question's coming from. It's coming from a cricketer. Sam Trapolino. I love you, Sammy, but I got to throw that one in there. Can you tell us a time when you, Danik, and Francois have disagreed? Let's say you're working out and Francois, just like he won't let you drink red wine and M&Ms. If I was your personal trainer, buddy, you'd have as much red wine and as much M&Ms as you want just by continue on doing what I ask you to do. That's fair. All right.
You know what? He's allowed having red wine.
Yeah, sure he is. You're drinking it for him. So
I'm telling you, I told him to try it out. Right, Danik?
Yeah, you're allowed.
There you go.
All right. But not a case. So tell us this one, Danik. Have you had a disagreement with Francois yet?
Every day.
Okay.
Every exercise he gives me. I just want to quit.
Now, why? Why do you do? Because he's pretty hard on you, aren't you?
No. I mean, we have a lot of fun over there. I like you said, I'm complaining, but it's for fun. I'm always going to do the exercise no matter what. I know he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to listen, do it, and work hard. We had the same objective. The objective is bring me to the NHL. So, I mean, if I disagree with him, I would not be in the gym with him or be speaking with him right now on the couch live. So, I mean,
no, that's Gouche. That's Gouche. Not couch. Gouche. Only I'm allowed to screw up names, not you. Hey, listen, but it's a good question. Now, listen, I know Sam was doing it because there was another gentleman that said to Sam, good question. Because you guys work out. You have trainers. I had trainers. This used to be a Greek god's body. Now it's a Greek salad with a lot of feta cheese on it. But still, there's a lot of work and determination put into this, Danik. And having a guy like Francois who knows how to get you there, you have to put in the work, right? Yeah. But I think what's important to understand is that the average person doesn't understand that, right? They just see Danik go out, play great, and you know what? You're just given that natural ability. No. The Gretzky's of the world maybe have given that. 90% of us were not given God-gifted abilities. You had to learn. You had to either have a good coach or you had to have a good trainer, somebody in your corner. Your parents had to give you the proper. So I really think it's important that people understand that a trainer does make a huge contribution, but he only makes him or her only make a good contribution if they can get into your psyche and make sure they can motivate you enough. Because you could say to Francois, he says, "Hey, do a burpee," and or 10 burpees. You could turn to him and say, "Really, Francois, why am I doing that? Like, I don't get that." Right? You have to buy into his program. So I think that was a really good question. It just came out a little bit differently. And so Sam is trying to get back at me. It's not Gouche, it's Douche.
Douche. But go just to continue.
Comment on that, please.
Just to continue on what you were saying. Training today is a lot different than back then when we were training. I used to just jog and do a few push-ups and sit-ups. But today, the players want to know why we're doing a certain thing, either in the gym or on the ice, and we have to explain it to them. Why we're doing this exercise because it's going to bring you this. We're doing that because it's going to bring you that, and why? Just the same as on the ice. Why what's the reason why we have to do so many pivots on the ice? It's just to, you have to be able to explain to the kids that it's, just to see as much ice surface as possible so you can take the information. If you've got a forechecker, where your player is at and all that. So, and it's okay. It's a different kind of training, but you have to adjust as a trainer with the years. If I'd be the same trainer today as I was 10, 15 years ago, Danik wouldn't need a guy like me because I would just do the same thing over and over every year.
You have
to so that's the big difference for me, anyways.
So Danik, tell me your 3 attributes. You don't have to be modest. You can actually brag. Are you a great skater? Are you physical? Or do you see the game well? Give me 3 that let's change that. Francois, I see you shaking your head.
The speed is my first asset. At 5'8", if you don't have any speed, then you won't be in the NHL or won't be even in the AHL. I love the grit. I'm not a good fighter, but I would fight. Like in the past preseason with Tampa, I fought Trennan, and Trennan 2 weeks later was fighting Shara. So. Yeah. I'm not scared of fighting. I'm not scared of losing a fight. I don't care. I'm doing it for my teammates and doing it for the fun of the game too. So the grit would be one of them. And I'm able to score goals. All my career, I've been scoring goals. I never stop, even power play or not. So, scoring goals, speed, and grit.
48 goals in the queue is a hell of an accomplishment. Could you just imagine yourself fighting Chara? Like, would you have to?
I could actually.
Just need a ladder.
The belly button would be.
I would just hang on to one leg. Okay, Francois. Now that you've heard Danik describe his 3 attributes, give us 3 that you see. Are they exact same, or do you see anything more that's shining that he's maybe missed?
Actually, what you hear is what you get with Danik. It's exactly that. There's no fooling around, whether we're in the gym or if you see him play, and it's very rare for a kid that age and with that size that you've got so many points, especially in the AHL, and not having power plays. So and it's true, he doesn't have to fight. And I tell him, you don't have to fight, just do your thing. But he's that kind of player. He's gonna go all out for the team, regardless where he's gonna play. Is gonna be the same kind of player. So for me, what he just told you is exactly what he's like, and he's the same in the gym, and the same when we're doing trainings on and off the ice. So that's what you get. As frankly as he is, that's exactly what you get.
Well, what I'd like to say is that, listen, Danik, can't thank you enough for taking time to be with us. Very humble, very methodical, articulate. You express yourself very well. Congratulations on being Humanitarian of the Year back in 2015. I know you're continuing on doing that. Obviously, a great career in the Q. You've been a great player in the AHL, and we all are now a fan of yours, and we hope to see you in the National Hockey League in 2021. We'll be your biggest fans, and I know, Sean, it's not a joke. We are going to have a Australian fan club, and I'm going to make sure that we sell a couple of your jerseys. I'm telling you that right now, because you deserve it. So thank you on behalf of Stop Concussions. Thank you on behalf of Gouche Live, featuring Paul Rosen, for taking some time out and letting us get up close and personal with you.
I appreciate the invitation. It was a fun one, a fun live show.
All right. Well, we'll see you again. We'll let you go there, Danik, and you stay on for a few seconds there, Francois, as we wrap up. Was really enjoying your interview, Danik, but to know that you stick up for your teammates, I love you even more.
He's a great kid.
Am I?
Yes, you
Say
are.
that again, please. Do
You're
it
a
again.
great kid.
I think you're a great kid too. Good night, kid.
Good night.
Enjoy. Hey, listen. Final. Do not eat too much turkey tonight.
No, just
Red.
maybe 2 old turkey, and I'll be fine.
No, but the red wine is
Yeah.
better. Like it's fluid.
Danik, you can have a glass or two tonight.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, this is not Tim Hortons. Trust me. See you later.
See
Great
ya.
fun. What a nice man. Sugar. Oh, we got to get rid of you. All right. Favorite goal. Do you have a favorite goal? Sean was asking.
Favorite goal? I remember my first AHL goal was an empty net. And I started
Hopefully not
from
against
the circle. The defenseman was at the blue line, and I speed up past him. He tripped me, and the picture really, I have my skate behind my head, shooting the puck in front of me. And even if I wouldn't score, it would be a goal because the defenseman had a penalty on that one. So he tripped me. So that was
right.
maybe
But
one.
you know what? You should look at his first NHL point. What a beauty, eh?
It was a great pass, I was told.
Yes, a great pass. Like, oh no, that was a beautiful
I closed my
pass.
eyes, but no one know that, so we're
We'll
fine.
take a peek. All right, Danik, we're letting you go this time for sure. Go get some turkey.
Thank you. Have a good
Salut,
one.
gros. Salut, bye.
Hey, what a great kid. Thank you for organizing that. You know, it was great to have a young man like that on because they'll give people perspective, just like you saw from Sam and Sean and Barry. They're asking questions that they want to get inside to understand the psyche because they never played at that level. And not putting these guys down by any means. They have great jobs. Sam was a very good rugby player, and obviously he also played that game called cricket. But it's cool to hear a young man's perspective. He's on the cusp of being in the NHL. He's gotten you, Francois, to get him there. I wish you all the luck. I hope certainly you can get there. In closing, tell us the feeling right now with all the players. It's not the only player you have trained. Here's a great picture of
Oh yes, Patrick Bordelot. Yeah,
Patrick
yes.
Bordelot. And then this, obviously, you show them this picture.
Oh, this is. I actually did I did a TV show. It was called The Dynasty of the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s. So I actually played the role of Henri Richard, and I was the only one that could skate with those, the old skates. So I was doing all the skating shots. So I remember that day. It was a full day on the ice with those skates. Holy crap! My feet were freezing to death because were right on the metal.
And your ankles, for God's
My
sake.
ankle. That's okay.
Hey, listen, you've been listening to Gouche Live featuring Paul Rosen. Rosie will be with me tomorrow night. Of course, it's Happy Thanksgiving Day. Francois, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, of course, to be with us. Next week, we will be getting you back on. We want to talk with Malcolm Sutherland. Obviously, it looks like we're going to have another shutdown or some sort of shutdown here in Ontario. Right now, we know that it's south of Steeles Avenue. We're in a rink called Paramount Ice. Whether or not we will be restricted, we do not know that yet. I know that you guys are having issues or shutdowns in Quebec as we speak.
Yep.
And I just want to get you on with Malcolm. How does that, the first one hurt. People kind of scrambled through it and they got to understand it and they got around it. Now we're going back to it again. And that psyche's got to really hurt mostly the young players that are now realizing they're going to lose a whole year of their hockey season and not for their fault, whether it be injury or any other type of reason.
Well, the first confinement, you have to adjust to every situation. So I was able to adjust, doing trainings online via Zoom or FaceTime, or so that was good. But this confinement, I find it's harder for the parents than the kids right now.
Yeah, true.
Parents are more likely to be on the negative side and not appreciate when we have ice, because I'm lucky enough that we were able to practice and be on the ice yesterday with my teams. So and a few parents, because we had a nice hour change. Some parents were, I've been at the rink waiting and so on, so they left. And I said, you just be thankful that we're actually able to be on the ice. Just be thankful that the kid is on the ice. We have to adjust. Everyone has to adjust to what's happening right now. And yes, there's going to be changes. It could be ice hours changes. It could be, but we have to learn to adjust. So that's the reality we're in right now. And what I'm doing for the kids. So if I'm able to adjust and they're not my kids, I can just imagine the parents just be thankful for all the training that your kids is getting.
All right, Francois, thank you. I know you've got to get back to finishing off that bottle of wine with your beautiful wife, Nancy. Thank you very much for taking some time out, giving us almost an hour and a half of your time. We really, really appreciate it. Of course, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and we have so much to be thankful for, even though we're sitting here in a pandemic. So thank you for being a part of our great show, and look forward to having you on next week, buddy.
Very thankful for that. Thanks a lot. And, my regards to T. Love you guys. Thanks for having me. And, I'm very thankful for your friendship.
All right, buddy. We'll see you this week.
All right. Thanks, Gouche.
All right. Hey, listen, as we wrap up, I'll tell you what, thank you, Barry Shelley. Yes, it was a great show. Listening to Danik Martel talk about, his life experiences, of course, being traded or being in the free agency and moving from team to team. It's great to hear that perspective. We don't get that a lot. Obviously, having Francois on and talking about the different type of trainings that are required and how they train. I really thought it was interesting to find out that they don't fight. Obviously, Francois is a very realistic trainer, and he knows his stuff. He's been doing it for many, many years. And a young man like Danik takes that in full stride and makes sure that he listens to him, because he's certainly going to steer him in the right way. Sam Trapolino, thank you for this morning. I agree, Barry, it was a great show. Thank you, guys. Hey, listen, you've been listening to Gouche Live featuring Paul Rosen. Rosie took the night off. Very well deserved, having a happy Thanksgiving dinner with his beautiful girlfriend, Ariana, and her family. And of course, I'm now going home to have my turkey and pumpkin pie. Oop, I don't know if Francois will allow it. I'm going to put some whipped cream on it, all right? Okay, guys, thank you for being a part of our show tonight. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And when I go to Utica the next time, I'm not staying at the Red Roof. I'm staying at Barry Shelley's. Good night.
Let's play some hockey.